Hello, Shaker Heights varsity baseball fans, and welcome into a gray day here for baseball. Shaker Heights taking on University School, and maybe that's the reason why it's gray. Shaker and US, they really have a big rivalry within each other. You can see it in all different kinds of sports. You can see it 100% in hockey. That's probably the most important one because they are actually in league rivals in hockey. Other than that, the schools just don't exactly like each other. You can see it in lacrosse. You can see it in baseball. Shaker's baseball team taking the field now in the black uniforms and red caps. We're going to be seeing Brett Moore on the mound today representing the 10 and 12 team. Shaker losing yesterday against Brunswick 9-5 on the mound in that game was Andrew Fogarty, and he will rack up another loss. However, and again, apologies for us not covering that game. We're going to take a minute to go to the national anthem really quickly. Thank you very much for tuning in. Not exactly sure how well you could hear that one. We got a lacrosse game getting set up behind us. JV lacrosse taking on Solon in a few moments here. But yeah, Shaker taking on the Preppers of University School, and Brett Moore is your starting pitcher. He's entering into today 1-0 after defeating Twinsburg, only giving up a few hits in that. And then Eli Stolfus came in relief and got the win on the mound. Now, the interesting thing about today, there's no guy set for relief here today. I was talking to assistant coach Joe Welsh before the game, and he was not sure who would come in if Brett Moore cannot go the complete game. We might see Braden White come out from the catching position. He pitched a little bit in California. Maybe it'd be Quentin Garnett. We're not exactly sure how that's going to move forward throughout the game. Hopefully, again, as mentioned, Brett Moore may not need relief, but that's up to what happens in the first few innings. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. Shaker Heights hosting another game here at home, their fourth straight against the rivals University School and those Preppers. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. Thanks for joining. Brett Moore, number one on the back of the jersey, catching the balls and strikes for him today is Braden White. As mentioned, he could be a relief pitcher later in the ball game, but it all depends. In the outfield, we've got in left Colin Richard. In center, we've got Will Tagan, number 8, and then over at right, it'll be Cole Klein. On the infield, we're seeing C.J. Landrum at first. To his right is Quentin Garnett at second. We saw him in that position against Heights, a rare occurrence, but here he is once again. O'Shea Howard over at short. That's typically Brett Moore's position, but of course, he can't pitch and also play shortstop. And Will Berglund over at third. Still a relatively new position. He started off the season over at first. First pitch in there for a strike, and a rare signaling from the umpire to call a strike. He goes up with it instead of to the side with a point of the finger. So just keep note of that. This one lined in the left, and Cole Klein makes his way to his right, and he'll make the grab for out number one. So an easy out number one off of 2 pitches for Brett Moore. And a couple of tosses in the infield will deliver it back to him on the mound. Brett Moore 1-0 after that victory against Twinsburg on the road. This is his only other start this season. And really only have him in this position when it is needed for a fifth guy in that rotation. That one, down low and in tight. Ball one. Penn, the batter, number 8 on the back of the jersey. Fielding was the one to lead us off. He just flew out one moment ago. Nelson is the other guy due up. That one in there for a strike. And again, we'll get an up high pump of the fist from the umpire. The next one, off the mark. That was close, but just barely missing, I suppose. That'll move our count to 2 balls, 1 strike with 1 away. Shaker Heights here in the red caps, black jerseys, white pants. Rare combination there. That one catching the upstairs half of the strike zone for strike number 2, so we're evened up at 2-2. Trying to get that second out is Brett Moore. Brett Moore currently currently hitting 229. However, that won't come into play today. He's out of the batting order. This one's sent over to the right side, and that's going to get through just behind Quentin Garnett. Playing it in shallow right is going to be Cole Klein sending it in. The runner holds at first for the third guy up in the lineup, Nelson. So 1 guy on, 1 guy out here in the top of the first inning. Brett Moore needing to slow it down now. Half and half so far. So far, he's attacking the pitchers, 7 of them, 7 pitches, and 5 strikes. There, a steal from Penn. He advanced from first to second. And quickly, a runner is in scoring position. 0-0, the score as we're just getting started here. But U.S. already threatening. Last year, they had high scoring go for them. 13-6 was their final there. This one's flown into left field. Colin Richard gets there, and the runner thinking of tagging. However, he holds up. Just a little bluff to try and affect Richard's throw. However, no can do as the third base coach holds him off. It's a gray one here today, and it's really rather fitting between these two rival schools that we're going to get an ugly day like this one. It rained on and off all day, this pitch missing the mark. It rained on and off all day, and so the field, as one of the players described it before the game, it's wet but not soggy. And when it's soggy, that's when you call a game, but that's not the case today. That pitch down low, ball 2. Zigman, the batter, number 19. 2 away with a runner in scoring position. A bit of a tense position for him. Now we're going to get some conversation from the second baseman, Garnett, and Braden White on the mound with Brett Moore. Interesting combination of people out there on the bump. But Quentin Garnett, of course, typically a catcher. So maybe that's why he joined the conversation. He's got experience in the role. He knows what pitches are being thrown. Before the game, Brett Moore talking to head coach Stephen English, he mentioned how he added a new pitch into his arsenal, one that he's feeling good about, a 2-seam fastball. And we'll see if that comes into play today. Here, time is called. Zigman stepping out of the box. U.S. in the maroon uniforms. Penn taking a healthy lead off of second. Here's the pitch. Brett Moore not even checking him. This one lined into the glove of O'Shea Howard. Didn't even have to move his feet. Just drop down and make the grab. And so, 4 batters up. They get 3 outs, and they leave a runner on scoring position on second base. 0-0 your score after the top of the first. Due up for Shaker at the top of the order. We're going to find O'Shea Howard, Quentin Garnett, and Will Tagan. We'll see if they can open up the scoring when we come back. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Shaker Heights, Ohio. And thank you very much for tuning in. We are through the top half of inning number 1, so now it's Shaker's turn to try and get something going with their first 3 outs. So far, University School with 1 hit. Can Shaker top that? First pitch in there to O'Shea Howard for strike number 1. We're getting the first 2 middle infielders to lead off the batting order. O'Shea Howard over at short, a rare position for him. That pitch down low. Ball 1. We typically see him over at second, but Garnett has gotten comfortable over at that position. And Brett Moore's pitching, so it was an interesting decision for head coach Stephen English to create that lineup. That one catching the zone. 2 strikes to O'Shea Howard now. Howard entering into today with an average of 255. There, a swing and a miss, drop third strike. Here's the throw from the catcher, or maybe, I believe the umpire actually signaled it was not a drop third strike. So there is out number 1. O'Shea Howard walks his way back to the dugout, and we're going to get Quentin Garnett. Talk about a guy that knows this rivalry against University School. He's got to have some beef with University School at this point. Shaker Heights Hockey, this is their starting defenseman, Quentin Garnett, and he, at first pitch upstairs, he and that hockey squad was defeated 3 times this season by University School, and they weren't very small victories. This shortstop handles, and the throw on to first. Quentin Garnett grounds out. But yeah, Braden White too. We'll see him in the lineup later. He's in the 6th spot. Well, those 2 hockey defensemen, they both know University School, and they know their distaste for him. That's going to bring Will Tagan to the plate. 2 away, nobody on. Blossom, the pitcher here today for University School. First pitch off the mark, ball number 1. O'Shea Howard went down on strikes. Quentin Garnett grounded out. This one skied over to the right side. The outfielders really playing in the left field. Strong shift over that way. And when you look at the spray chart, you don't exactly see why. He's pretty all over the place in the outfield. That one missing the mark. And yes, he's got majority over them out there in left, but not a strong enough majority to really defend yourself to get it all the way to one side out in the outfield. His 1 home run is way out there in left field. That came against North Royalton. That was not the prettiest game, but he did get a home run there. A swing and a miss upstairs. Strike 2. We work our way to a countdown. Or actually, no, excuse me, there's 2 outs. We work our way to a full count. Got 2 ahead of myself. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away for Will Tagan. Here's the next offering. Swung on back to the shortstop. He handles on the throw. And did it pull him off? It did! The throw from Moss to Greer pulls Greer off the bag, and so Will Tagan will reach on an error to get that first base runner on for the Red Raiders. It may come with 2 outs, but Shaker will take it as the first error of the ball game goes to the Preppers. So that'll bring up Will Berglund, the big man, hitting right. Pickoff throw over at first, taken back in standing. Shaker looking for a bounce-back win after the big loss yesterday in the GCC. Once again, they're back to 500. This throw down low to Zelenak. Another pickoff attempt taken back in standing. Not taking that large of leads. However, they know that he is a threat to steal second, especially this is prime opportunity. Here's the throw. This one will get through. Tagan round second, but it looks like he'll hold there. Berglund with a first hit of the day for the Red Raiders, and that'll move him to first. Tagan into scoring position with 2 away. Let's see what C.J. Landrum can do. Landrum, the first baseman in today's game, he took that spot from Will Berglund as Berglund took the spot over at third. We typically see, or excuse me, we typically earlier in the season saw Luther in that spot. This one popped foul over to the right side, just avoiding those bleachers. We typically saw Sam Luther in that position, maybe Andrew Burley. Quentin Garnett specifically was over there rather often. But no, Berglund really proved himself over at that spot, so he took it away from everyone else. That pitch upstairs. 1-1 the count. 2 away to C.J. Landrum with 2 guys on, 1 in scoring position as Tegan takes his lead off of second. Checking the runner is Blossom. Now the pitch down low to Landrum. The next guy up would be Braden White. He hasn't been hitting too well, so we'll see if it gets to that point. Landrum, however, entering in with an average just on the Mendoza line, 200. Here's the next offering. This one skied up, and this more than likely will be caught in shallow center. Indeed it is. Oh, he dropped it. Holy! The throw in, that'll score a run. Holy! That looked like a routine out. I know it's a wet day, but oh my goodness. Error number 2 to the Preppers. He's looking at his glove, wondering what happened there. Runners at the quarters. Shaker with an early lead. 1-0 the score. And Berglund, a threat to be the second. Landrum, lucky to get that opportunity. He stands on first now. Holy. Penn, the man to drop it out there in center field. This one, can this get through? Oh, this will get over the glove. Braden White will reach first. Landrum goes to second, and Berglund scores. What a fluky little inning for Shaker's offense. Not sure if they're going to roll that in error, but it took a weird bounce. There wasn't much that the second baseman Bucci could have done about that. And now they're already going to give some words of encouragement to the man on the mound. Blossom off to a shaky start. And now there's 2 guys on at first and second. Shaker up by 2. Here's the pitch. That one in tight and down low to Cole Klein. Klein, the right fielder in today's game, he swapped from typically he was over in left field. Now he's over in right, handling the duties over there. Already on the 7th man in the batting order. There's swing and miss. Strike number 1. Holy, what a bizarre start to this game for Shaker's offense. But no one's complaining about it, except for, more than likely, the defenseman over on the Prepper squad. 2-0 the score. 2 men on with 2 away. It's been 2 men away for a while now. That pitch upstairs to Klein. 2-1 the count. Klein enters in with an average of 240. Here's the next offering. This one cut on. And this time, the second baseman handles it easily, the throw on to first. However, the damage is done. Shaker takes the lead 2-0 on, and it looks like they're going to rule this one. 3 errors for University School. And in a single inning, holy cow. Good start for Shaker, and let's see if Brett Moore can continue where he left off. 12 pitches, 7 strikes, not the best of ratios, but he's been attacking hitters pretty well so far. 2-0 your score. Shaker leading here at home against the Preppers of University School. We'll be right back for the call of the second inning. And we're back for the top of the second inning. Shaker already up by 2. The hits are even to this point, 1 per side, but the real hitter was that University School. 3 defensive errors only in that first inning. That pitch down low, it's going to get away from Braden White. However, no runners on, so not too much of a stressor. Shaker so far with 0 defensive errors. That has been a real struggle for him so far this season. Just yesterday, 6 defensive errors for the squad. And it's just an odd game when Will Tagan has one out there in center. Out of the infield, we got one from every single infielder. Except for Brett Moore, he had 2. However, today he's pitching, so we're not expecting to see that many defensive errors for him this time. There, a swing and a miss from Greer. Greer, the first baseman in today's game. He was pulled off the bag on a throw. That was the first error of the game, and that's what really threw them off moving forward. That one was down low, ball 2. Next pitch. He's called! Strike 3. Brett Moore gets the first K of the day. And Greer goes down looking. So Zelenak, the catcher in today's game, he'll be up next. And so far, Brett Moore looking efficient, back to where he started against Twinsburg. And he had a good game against Twinsburg. Here's the pitch, off the mark, down low and away. Shaker up 2-0. The 2 runs coming across to score were Tagan and Berglund. That one in there for a strike. And we thought the inning was over. You could hear it in my call. Once that fly up into the air by C.J. Landrum skied its way into the clouds, thought the center fielder Penn had it. That one fouled over to the right side. We thought Penn was going to have it, but nope, dropped right out of the glove. And you could see his confusion. He looked right at the glove after the play, wondering what the heck happened. And so Shaker was able to get Tagan across there. And then after that, Braden White reached on an error. And that brought home Berglund. Here's another pitch. This one grounded over to the right side. Brett Moore is going to pick it up as it doesn't have a lot of juice on it. The flip to C.J. Landrum brings us out number 2. So Shaker's defense quickly working well. Again, the defensive alignment out here. Out in left, we're getting Colin Richard. At center, we're getting Tagan. And then over in right field, it's Cole Klein. On the infield, in that dirt, over from right to left, we're going to get C.J. Landrum. That pitch down low. C.J. Landrum over at first, Garnett at second. O'Shea Howard at shortstop, and then it's Berglund at third. Catching the balls and strikes for Brett Moore today is Braden White. This one fouled over to the left side. Again, we're looking for a good pitch count from Brett Moore. The reason being that they don't have one of those designated relief guys here today. We don't have that one off the mark. We don't have an Eli Stolfus. We don't have a Sam Luther, as we saw him yesterday, and he just also wasn't here today. He might, again, be with JV along with Stolfus, and so not exactly sure. Here's the pitch. This one skied our way. Left fielder Colin Richard just going to need to let this drop in front of him. So 1 man on. 2 hits, 1 per inning now for University School. Nothing Richard could have done about that one. The interesting thing pointed out to me before the game is that if you're a hitter, you can't really get some to go in the dirt, as you could just lay a hit in between the outfielders, and it's not really going to roll like a fielder may want it to. It can just stop there. Due to the wet field from the rain earlier here today, it may have some weird effect on some of these hits making its way into the outfield grass. That pitch got away from Braden White, so The runner advanced over to second. Shaker still up by 2, but University School now threatening as Moss advanced on the wild pitch. 2 balls, no strikes to Bucci. Here's the next pitch. Off the mark again. 3 straight balls issued by Moore. Bucci, the 8th guy in the order, second baseman. He got ruled on an error as well in that bottom of the first inning. This pitch down low, and Bucci walks on 4 straight balls. So maybe 2-0 here, but the Preppers are threatening. Behind me also, we're getting that JV Shaker lacrosse game, men's lacrosse. And they're taking on the Solon Comets, 2-0 there as well. This one's skied up. This should be out number 3. Cole Klein, thought he was calling off Tegan, but Tegan with authority makes the judgment call. He'll grab it and run his way to the dugout as he made out number 3 happen. 31 pitches. Keep University School scoreless. 2 hits for him now. Shaker with only 1, but University School's 3 errors from the first got us to where we are now. Shaker up by 2. Let's see. Will University School's errors keep racking up? I guess we're going to see moving forward. I'll be back for the call at the bottom of the second. My name is Vaughn Ullum here from Shaker Heights, Ohio. So the Preppers really needing to limit the defensive errors now. 3 in the first inning, and that's never going to be a winning recipe at this rate. I mean, heck, they'd get 21 by the end of the game. Let's see what happens moving forward. Here's the first pitch of a new inning. Upstairs, inside on Fogarty. Fogarty, the designated hitter in today's game, entering in 0 for 22 in his at-bats. He's walked 5 times, but that's been it for him as a base runner. Here was ball 2. Blossom now up to 26 pitches. Here's the 27th. Once again upstairs. So he's pretty off the mark to begin a new inning. And really, so far, the mistakes have come from the defensive side. Is this the 4th straight? It is not. It'll catch the upstairs half of the strike zone. Strike number 1, 3-1 the count. Nobody out as we're just getting started here in the bottom of the second inning. Fogarty batting left. Here's the next offering to him. Ooh, looked a bit off the plate. However, the umpire does not agree. Maybe a bit of a wide strike zone. We'll see as the game goes on. There's strike 2. We got a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch. That's upstairs for sure. Fogarty will walk for the 6th time on the campaign. He will remain hitless, but when you walk, no one's exactly complaining here. So leadoff man on. Here comes the last guy on the order, Colin Richard, left fielder in today's game. Entering in with an average of 211. First pitch to him in there for strike number 1. So on the 0-1, this one cut on and popped up. Shortstop calling off everyone, making the grab. It's going to be out number 1. So we're back to the top of the order in the form of O'Shea Howard. He struck out his first time up. Let's see what he's got this time around. Last year when Shaker took on the Preppers, They started off with 2 runs in the first inning. Same thing here. But after that, the defense and the pitch, or I suppose the pitching, really got out of control. This one making its way fair as O'Shea Howard gets a base knock single, the throw in. Surprisingly off target. However, the lead runner in the form of Fogarty holds off. He's over at second. He's in scoring position with only 1 away. 2-0 the score. Shaker on top here at home. Here's the first pitch to Garnett, in there for a strike. Fogarty on second, Howard on first. Now stepping off, taking a lead. Fogarty following suit. Here's the next offering to Garnett. This one lined our way. That could score Fogarty, and yes, he's rounding third. Howard making his way to third. He is in safely, and Quentin Garnett advances to second. That'll score another. So there we go, 3-0 now. Shaker on top against the Preppers of University School. Good start for for Shaker Heights. Bad start for US. So Garnett off of second. Howard off of third. That one upstairs on Will Tagan. Still only 1 out here in the bottom of the second. What a great double that time from Garnett. He has been hitting it well. Now he's 1 for 2 on the day. Let's see if Tagan can follow suit. He's 0 for 1. This one fouled over to the right side. Behind me, Shaker's JV men's lacrosse team still cooking over here, still up by 2. They're up against the Solon Comets here today. I assume we're getting a varsity game after this one as well. We'll keep you updated. Here's the next pitch to Tagan. This one's sent down the third base line. That's going to get through another RBI. Quinn Garnett rounding third. Will he get in safely? Indeed he will. The throw is offline. 5-0 now the score. Shaker on top of this one. Great start. Holy cow. Berglund now up, still only 1 away. Tagan stands off of second. He's once again in scoring position. Berglund looking for an RBI opportunity. That pitch is going to get away. Tagan taking third. He rounds third, but he's going to hold off there. Blossom off to a rough start on the mound. He's let this one get away. Tagan now off of third. One more pitch can bring him in if it goes wild. 1-0 pitch to Berglund. This one cut on. Will this make its way through? It will. Tagan heading home. There's RBI number 6 already. Wow. Shaker Heights up by 6. You love to see it. What a start for Shaker Heights. 2 in the first, now 4 in the second. Six runs on 5 hits for the Red Raiders. 3 errors for the Preppers, may I keep in mind. CJ Landrum now due up. He's 0 for 1 so far. But it seems like here in the bottom of the second, everyone's hitting something. First pitch to Landrum. This one fouled off the leg, and that looked like it hurt. And he's going to hop on one leg and try to walk this one out. Now it looks like we're going to get a minute with head coach Stephen English. Talk to him as well. Berglund over at first. Now an 0-1 count after the foul off the leg. 1 away. 4 runs coming in this second inning. This is already as many runs as Shaker scored against US last year. 13-6 was your final there. The Preppers winning that one back over in Hunting Valley. Here's the pitch to Landrum. That one down low, a ball. Wow, what a start. This is not an expected win for Shaker, but if they get it done, it would be huge. And they are off to a good start so far. Here's the pitch. Upstairs and in tight. Ball two, 2-1. Still only one single out here in the bottom of the second. JV Lacrosse behind me, now beating Solon by 4. And Berglund going to take off. He's looking to steal second, and he'll do so. So now he's in the scoring position. CJ Landrum still the batter. I believe that might have missed the mark as well. Or, excuse me, it did not. Strike 2 looking. We got a 2-2 count, but now a guy is over in scoring position once more. It keeps on coming. Landrum reached on an error his last time. That one just missing. Holy, that was close. So Shaker now winning in every department. 3-0 in errors. US has the 3 errors. This one skied over to shallow right field. Looks like Berglund thought of taking off, but now he's not going to. He'll hold up. So Landrum is down on a flyout. He's now 0 for 2. He reached on an error his first time. Now we're getting Braden White. He also reached on an error earlier. First pitch off the mark, just barely missing. Braden White skies this one. Good glove save on the run, as it was the shortstop Moss to make the grab. If that had gotten through, more than likely would have scored the man at second in the form of Berglund, but no. So Shaker leaves one guy on in scoring position, but my goodness, the damage is done. 6-0 now the score after 2. 2 came across in the first. They double that with 4 in the second. Shaker cooking early. We'll be back for the call of the top of the third. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Vaughn Ullum here from Shaker Heights, Ohio. And we're back for a new inning. We're already 40 minutes past the first pitch. Reason being, Shaker's offense has got it going, and they have got it going quickly. After yesterday's loss to another GCC opponent, Shaker perhaps playing with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, and it's working. Fielding, representing the top of the order. He's the left fielder in today's game, 0 for 1 to begin his day. First pitch, not exactly sure if that missed down low. If it did, my goodness, he's got a short zone. And I guess that was the case. That was pitch 32 from Brett Moore. Here's number 33 on its way. This one's skied up to the left side, and that'll be foul. Just barely missing a car. 1-1 the count, nobody out as we're just getting started here in the top of the third. Shaker up by 6 early in the game. Here's the next offering. That one upstairs. Two balls, one strike. So far, he's splitting the balls and strikes 17-17, 34 pitches in total. Now he'll take the lead on strikes with a foul over to the left side. So that's going to be strike number 2. 2-2 the count. Nobody out just yet. Fielding 0 for 1. He was not the one strikeout victim once through the order. That was Greer, the first baseman. He's the middle guy in the order at number 5. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one cut on. That might get down, and Tagan says no. Tagan moves out in front of him. He will make the grab for out number 1. Again, yesterday, Tagan with an offensive error, and you know it's just a really odd day if you get an error from him. Shaker losing that one by 4, moving to 5-5 in the Greater Cleveland Conference. That one in there for strike 1 on Penn. Penn, the center fielder here today. He's given us a wave up here from our spot out in left center. We appreciate him. That one taken for ball 1. Brett Moore nearing 40 pitches, so he's keeping the pitch count well so far. That one once again missing the mark for ball 2. Shaker Heights up 6-0 here in the top of the third inning, 1 away. And now it's a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. This one fouled back into the caging to even up the count. Penn 1 for 1 with a single. He later stole second. The game behind me over here at the Russell H. Rupp Field, 5-0. Shaker leading the Solon Comets, 5-0. Believe that one missing the mark, and indeed it did. So now we got a countdown. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the payoff pitch. This one sent up the middle. Garnett can't play it, just gets under the glove. So that'll be a single again for Penn. He will be 2 for 2 to start his day. The only other guy with a hit so far is Moss, the shortstop, who made that final out of the bottom of the second. 1 on, 1 out. Same thing we got in the first inning. There, a pickoff attempt will not be successful as Penn was back in safely. Nelson 0 for 1 to begin his day. Brett Moore now to 42 pitches. Here's 43. It'll miss the mark. It almost got away from Braden White. Good job of keeping it in front of him in the dirt. If he hadn't, Penn more than likely would have taken the second. Very well might have done so successfully if it really got away. This one gets away again. This throw gonna get away from Landrum. So Penn actually gonna take second anyway. And that's just a rough mistake on the inside of the field. That might go as the first error of the game. I believe it should, as that'll be ball 3. Here's Brett Moore. Actually, now it's 2-0. Here's the 2-0. Now it's 3-0. There you go. Penn on second. We did get our first error scored from Braden White. We'll get a replacement baseball to Brett Moore. He stands back on. Again, an odd uniform combination. We usually get the black uniforms as the away uniforms. However, this week, We've only got one away game, and that was against Medina, so Shaker hasn't used these uniforms much, or at least these jerseys much. That pitch missing the mark, and that's going to be ball four. Four straight balls from Brett Moore. So Penn stays on second, but now it'll just make a force on third, and the next guy due up was going to be Zigman. And here's the steal attempt on third. Good work by Berglund to keep it in front of him. Almost made its way into shallow left. Richard was there to back him up, but you don't want to put yourself in that spot. So now two men in scoring position for the Preppers, only one away. Here's the pitch. Oh my goodness, Brett Moore throwing a bit more all over the place. That one down low once more. Once again. Now we're going to get a mound visit from head coach Stephen English. Catcher Braden White in the infield coming in as well. Got to feel bad for the outfield in these moments. They don't get to be included in these types of conversations. The batter, Zigman, 0 for 1 on the day. The man behind him, Greer. We'll see if he gets his chance. As right now, there's only one away. Brett Moore in a 2-0 count. He's got first base open, so maybe you will try to, or not try to walk him, but maybe you're going to let it happen with a bit more of a neutral feeling. That one missing the mark, ball 3. 3-0 the count. And here's the next pitch. Oh, no, yep, there's ball 4. First, I thought the umpire made a late call, but no. He was just signaling for Zigman to take his base. Base is loaded, one away. One swing of the bat could make this a 2-run ball game. We'll see what kind of power this guy has. He struck out his first time up. Greer, first baseman in today's game. Now Brett Moore going to take time. He'll step off of the mound, or maybe it was the hitter that called time. Regardless, they're going to get time to think about things. Now Brett Moore. Here's the delivery. And I guess that just missed the mark. Wow, what a rough call. Looked like a beauty of a pitch from here, but I guess maybe upstairs. Here's the next pitch. That one's in, so maybe just lowered his strike zone a bit. That one looked low. I don't know. Again, I don't have the greatest view up here, but who knows? Here's the 1-1. And that missed again. Again, not exactly sure where. The umpire maybe just condensing his strike zone down a little. Brett Moore's just got to find it. Here's the 2-1. This one's skied foul behind home plate and into those trees by Onaway. Now, I was talking to someone about this after the game against Heights. That look of Onaway behind home plate, kind of a nice view from out here. That one missing the mark for a ball. Again, not exactly sure where all these are missing. However, as long as the umpire is consistent, it's really what matters. We got a full count. Here's the payoff pitch. And it's going to miss. He'll walk in a run. That stinks. Especially when a lot of those he was calling earlier in the game, I thought as strikes. Again, not the best view up here. More than likely got a good view back behind the dish, of course. But for some of those, not exactly sure where they were missing. Now we're going to get a conversation between Braden White, the catcher, and Brett Moore. And now words exchanged. White going to take his spot back behind the dish. 6-1 now the score. Shaker still leading. One walk isn't going to give the Preppers a magic 6 runs. That one In there. Or I guess not in there. Another ball. Brett Moore, no, that was strike one. Looking. So now here's the 0-1. Brett Moore just looking to get back into a groove. This one grounded to O'Shea Howard. He flips to Garnett. Garnett struggles on the transfer. Oh, and it looks like he dropped it. Could have sworn it was on the transfer. I believe that's what Garnett is asking about. Could have sworn it was on the transfer. What a rough call there. So they're going to keep the bases loaded. Head coach Stephen English going to talk about it as well with the umpire. I'm not going to lie. I'm never one to say this, but what a bad call. That was on the transfer. He had control. He had control over it as he was touching second. But nope. 6-2, bases loaded, one away. Here's the next pitch on a new AB. That one off the mark. Going to be ball one. Brett Moore now nearing 60 pitches. His pitch count has really suffered in this inning. Still bases loaded. And again, that call was just unfortunate. This one getting away from Braden White. That's going to score run number 3. This inning has got away from Brett Moore. Uh-oh. Six-3 the score. Runners at second and third. Greer on third. Zelenik at second. The batter, Moss, who's 1 for 1 on the day. Here's the pitch. That one's in there. Still only one away. 2-1 the count. Brett Moore now to 61 pitches. Here's the 62nd. Going to be making its way. This one cut on. Gets over C.J. Landrum. This is going to score 1 at least. And they're going to hold it there. This throw almost getting away. However, they're going to keep it there. So 4 runs now coming across for University School. And the lead has been cut down from 6-2. Again, I said this earlier, but uh-oh. Runners at the corners, 1 away. This pitch down low, didn't get away from Braden White. Kept it in front of him, but it'll still be a ball. Bucci, the batter. Second to last guy in the order. He walked his first time up. Brett Moore's struggling now. He was off to a hot start in the first 2 innings. Coming off of that victory against Twinsburg. But this inning is really starting to hurt him now. And that pitch getting away from White. Moss taking second. Zelenik still over there on third. 2 runs the deficit. Shaker does still lead. They're going to need their offense to come in handy once again after this. But Brett Moore needs to get that offense up to the plate first. Next pitch off the mark, ball 3. Oof. An ugly inning right now. Here in the top of the third, under an ugly sky. Now that we're gray up here, that one's in there, laid right in for strike number 1. Brett Moore, over 20 pitches already on the inning. 3-1 the count. This next one also in there. So we work our way full with 1 away. Taking some hops out here at center, trying to stay warm. It's not exactly cold out here. It'll get a little bit chilly. That pitch off the mark. Oh, my. That'll be walk number 5, issued by Moore. And now we're going to get another visit from White. Bases loaded again. Still only an out. Now a swing in the bat could give U.S. a lead. One swing of the bat can bring 2 guys in from scoring position. The tying run over there at second. The go-ahead run on first. Here's the pitch. This one sent right into the glove of Berglund. Holy cow! He makes the grab, steps on third, and a double play to get him out of the jam with one out. 2 and 3 for Berglund. Holy. So it wasn't a pretty inning, but the work from Berglund gets it over with. So we're through the top of the third. Shaker's offense needs to get some insurance runs back. They entered into the inning, the top half of the inning, up by 6. Now they leave the top half of the inning only up by 2. Let's see what they got now. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Shaker Heights. Let's see what we got in front of us when we come back. So the bottom 3 of the order are going to be due up now. Cole Klein, Andrew Fogarty, and Colin Richards, 7, 8, 9 in the order. Shaker's offense looking to get back to where they left off. Here's first pitch to Klein. It's in there for strike 1. Blossom, the pitcher, he's right now got 48 pitches, 28 being strikes. There's the 49th pitch, and there's strike number 29. 0-2 quickly to Cole Klein. So far, only one guy has struck out, and that's been O'Shea Howard. That next one in there for strike 3. So 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Down goes Cole Klein. He's now 0 for 2 to start his day. Andrew Fogarty walked his first time up. He was the leadoff guy in that last inning. That one in there for another strike. If Blossom has a really good inning, oh my God, could this get through? It can't. Fogarty so close to his first hit, but no. Now 0 for 23 on his at-bats. Oh, so close to getting through. If it just had a little bit more oomph, if it wasn't a wet day, probably would have gotten through. However, a wet day can always slow down the ball as it did there, and I guess that was the case. So 2 up, 2 down quickly. And if this pitcher has a quick inning to send out his hot offense and a really cold pitcher in Brett Moore, this could be good for University School on the road. Shaker behind me, currently winning 8-0 in the JV men's lacrosse game. Here's the next pitch to Richard, in there for strike 2. 0-2 the count to Richard. 2 outs. Can Blossom finish a really good inning on the mound? He grounds this one down the third base line. It'll go foul. This has been a really good game so far. A lot of action to talk about. 5 errors already. 3 by the Preppers, 2 by the Raiders. Here's the pitch. This one sent up the middle. Will it get through? Looks like it will. Into shallow center. Penn coming in to play it. And Richard going to get the 2-out single to bring the top of the order back up. We got plenty of those runs last inning with 2 outs. Let's see if Shaker wants to pick it back up here. Here's the first pitch to Howard. This one's sent over to the right side. Will it get down? No! Line drive right into the glove of the right fielder, Nelson. So that'll hold Richard at first. They leave one guy on, and Brett Moore quickly back out there, and that's not what you want to see after the rough inning that he just had. We'll see what happens. Already up to 69 pitches. His 70th and more will be on its way after this break. We're going to the middle inning. Inning number 4, Shaker up by 2 after 3. Brett Moore back to the mound. 69 pitches so far, 31 are strikes. So he's well under half hitting the strike zone. So he's just really got to clean up that ratio moving forward. 4 runs coming across for U.S. in that last inning. Of them, 3 were earned. It came from 4 hits, 5 walks. And yeah, he's just got to pick himself back up. First pitch off the mark for a ball. Here we go. Just got to hit the target. This one sent over to the right side. Brett Moore needs to beat him there. Will he? He's safe. Oh, wow. Landrum was trying to play it out of position, so Quentin Garnett had to wait for Brett Moore to cover. And so leadoff man on over at first in the form of Fielding, who's now 1 for 3. Guess they're going to rule that an infield single, I suppose. That first one to Penn in there for a strike. Again, Penn, that center fielder, he had that first error of the ball game out here in center field. That next one off the mark for a ball. Had that first error out in center field to really get the scoring opening up for Shaker. And ever since that, 9 runs have followed. 5 for the Raiders, 4 for U.S. just last inning in the 3rd. Brett Moore needing to slow it down here with a 1-1 pitch. And here's the steal attempt. Braden White trying to gun him down, and it'll work its way into shallow center. The runner, however, going to hold up at second. Tegan with a strong arm definitely could have gunned him down over third. However, he's not going to do so. So Fielding, now at second. 2-1 the count to Penn. One swing of the bat can tie it now. I guess it's 1-2 the count. That one upstairs for ball 2. 2-2 the count. Fielding 2 for 2. Or excuse me, Penn 2 for 2. Fielding on base number 2. How about that? This one cut on. Oh, it looks like he got contact as it fouled its way back into the backstop. So we're going to do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out just yet here in the top of the 4th inning. We're almost halfway through the ball game. Here's the kick and offering from Brett Moore off the mark. It's going to get away into the backstop. Fielding taking third. Still nobody out. Shaker very much at risk of giving up the 5th run to U.S. Full count. Here's the payoff pitch to Penn. They roll it upstairs. I feel like he's called that. Oh, my goodness. Here's the throw on the second. They got him in a rundown. Trying to score is the runner from third. And no, he's going to be safe. U.S. got their runner all the way up to second as Penn caught him lacking in attention. Wow. Holy. Tying run at second. Nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Brett Moore started off really well, but it just got to him. Here's the 79th of his outing. He's checking the runner over at second. Now we're going to get time called by the batter, Nelson. Nelson 0 for 1. Last time up, he did walk. The 2, 3, 4, and 5 guys have each walked. This one skied, or actually not skied, it was the line in to right. That one. And now this is going to be run number 6 after the throw from Cole Klein getting away. Runs number 5 and 6 come in. We're tied up 6-6. Wow. This game has really gotten away from Brett Moore. And again, you can't bring in much relief early because there is no relief. There's no designated guy you've got here. You don't have Stolfus. You don't have Luther. He pitched yesterday anyway. This one off the mark. So you're really just in a rough position if you're head coach Stephen English. One man on second. The first pitch was ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Off the mark again, ball 2. This umpire has a really rough strike zone that Brett Moore's really struggling with out there on the mound. Here's pitch 82 of the outing. There's strike 1. Zigman 0 for 1 so far. He was also a walk. Brett Moore has walked 6 now. He's only struck out 1. Though he may be more of a contact guy, today has not been his day. There, a big swing and miss. Perhaps a bounce back pitch he needs to gain some confidence. He did give up the lead. We're now tied 6-6. But you don't want to give US the lead. Still nobody out. Runner in scoring position. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's going to get away from Braden White. Here's the throw on the third or not. Quick running from Nelson gets him in safely at third. Nobody out. There was ball 3. We're full. This has been rough back-to-back innings for Brett Moore. Here's the payoff pitch. That'll be away. Ball 4. What a rough ratio. 85 pitches, 38 strikes. And now we're going to get a mound visit here. Are we getting relief to come in? Maybe. And yeah, looks like we will. Runners will be at the corners with nobody out. I believe that's Thomas Barrett. We'll see what he's got in him. Yesterday, I believe he pitched an inning. Before that, he's pitched one other. Against Euclid, he did really well. Yesterday, it was a bit more of a rough story. Let's see what Barrett can do. Again, he's coming off of an injury, so he's really trying to ease back in. But right now, if you're English, this is a really desired victory for you. And you're in a really rather rough position. You're in a very dire position, I suppose. Let's see what Barrett has got in him. As he'll take his warm-up pitches, we're going to step aside. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're now tied 6-6 here in the top of the 4th. So Thomas Barrett in the pitch now. 6-6 is the score, as it was 6-0. Shaker on top. But Brett Moore had really collapsed on the mound. And now we're back to even. And U.S. really threatening to bring home that go-ahead run. This one fouled back into the caging. Barrett, the pitcher now. First pitch was fouled back for a strike. He's pitched 2 innings. One actually yesterday. They're trying to ease him in a bit more. Hasn't thrown for any earned runs so far. There were 3 given up in yesterday's inning. However, many errors to speak of in that inning. This one grounded over to O'Shea Howard. He flips on to Garnett. Garnett with the throw to first, and it'll get away from Landrum. The runner going to hold off at first, but the go-ahead run does come in to score. 7-6. The Preppers now lead it. I know it's early, but what a comeback for U.S. to now give them the lead. Zelenek 0 for 2. He'll take this one for a ball. But yeah, Barrett, we first saw him on April 10th against Euclid. Pitched 1 inning, and he actually technically got the win on the day. That one off the mark again. Technically got the win. He was the starting pitcher. And yeah, he gave up no hits. Walked 1, he struck out 1. It was nice to see that strikeout from him. It's been a minute since he had gotten a strikeout. That one in there for a strike. But Sun trying to peek through the clouds over to the right side of the first base line. It's really struggling to do so. It's been a really rather gray day. Trying to brighten up a little bit with that sun. This one sent down the third base line, just foul. And though it wouldn't have scored anybody, would have helped him out a lot. One away. One man on first in the form of the first baseman, Greer. Double play opportunity for Shaker. However, really hasn't worked out for him much this season, as you saw moments ago. That pitch upstairs tried to get him to chase at something nasty. The throw from White from behind the dish made its way to Landrum. However, Greer back in safely. 7-6 the score. University School currently leading. 2-2 the count now to Zelenek, who's 0 for 2 on the day. One away. Here's the pitch. Off the mark. Here's the stealing attempt. And they got him. What a throw from Braden White. He struggled with it earlier, but now he's picked it up. And there's out number 2. It will be a full count now to Zelenek, but there you go. 2 outs makes it that much less stressful if you're Barrett. We'll see it, or maybe we're going to see him continue to pitch in relief here today. It's really nice to see Barrett pitch against this rather disliked team of University School. There he will issue a walk, but again, when you're easing him in as you are here, that kind of stuff is expected. He got 2 outs. He's pitching rather well so far. That pitch missing. University School up by 1 after being down by 6. They got 4 runs in the third, 3 runs in the fourth. That one just barely missing. Again, this umpire with a very, very tight zone. Both teams now have evened up errors as well, 3 per side. Here's the pitch from Barrett. This one's skied up. This should be handled by the right fielder. And indeed, Cole Klein going to make the play out in shallow right. And that will conclude the 4th inning. So Barrett comes in. He limits the damage. However, University School has taken the lead. We're halfway through this one. Shaker started up by 6. Now they're down by 1. Let's see what the Red Raiders can now do on offense. Last time up 3 down. They're looking for a different kind of story here in the middle inning. 7-6, University School on top here in Shaker territory. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. So the damage is done. Shaker was up 6-0 after the second. University School then took the lead with 4 in the third and 3 in the fourth. So we are 1/2 inning away from being through 4. Let's see, we're halfway through this one. Blossom's still out there on the mound. The first pitch was off the mark to Garnett. Here's the 1-0. Did he take it upstairs? Looks as though he did. It might have been in the zone anyway. Blossom now with his 60th pitch making its way on the 1-1. That one's right down the middle for strike number 2. Again, a very tight strike zone. Seems like Shaker is just really struggling to get down with it. This one skied over to the right side. This one should drop foul, and indeed it will. The first baseman bolting to it. Hopefully that can tire him out a little bit if you're trying to use Shaker's way of thinking. However, regardless, that's just going to be another strike, except it won't be another strike as we already had 2 to Garnett. So we're going to do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. We get another wave from Penn out there in center field. Is the 1-2 upstairs, 2-2. If he had called that one a ball, we would have had major issues. Then it would have been a different kind of story. I know Shaker's really been struggling with the zone. However, he's been rather consistent. That pitch upstairs. Now we work our way full to Garnett. 1 for 2 on the day. Here's the payoff. In tight for ball 4. So leadoff man on. Shaker looking to tie this one back up here in the bottom of the 4th. We'll see. Garnett, sometimes a threat to run. We'll see what he does here. But, of course, when you got Tegan up next, you always have a little bit of reassurance to make your way around the bases with the use of his bat. Here, Garnett back in with a dive. Blossom to 64 pitches. Of the 64, 40 have hit the strike zone. The final numbers for the other starting pitcher, Brett Moore, 85 pitches, 38 were strikes. It was a rough ratio. This one skied up, and it'll be taken by the shortstop in the infield grass. So just got under it for out number 1. Garnett stays on first. Berglund's up next. Behind him would be Landrum. Or maybe not. Looks as though it would be Burley up next as he stands in the on-deck circle. Let's see what Berglund has first. This one's skied over to the right side. A fan trying to make the play on it. when it'll get over the shoulder. Gotta appreciate that guy's hustle trying to track it down. One strike to Berglund. 2 for 2 on the day, looking to go 3 for 3. One swing of the bat from him could always give Shaker the lead. Their emotion on the first. No throw, but Quentin Garnett gets the jersey dirty with the slide in. This pitch upstairs, Garnett trying to steal. He should be safe, and no, the umpire calls him out. Thought he might have been under the tag, but no. Wow. Shaker just not getting the benefit of the doubt. Out number 2, Berglund's still in there. Surprised you're running on a guy that's 2 for 2 on the day. There he went. There's strike number 1 to Berglund. Berglund entering into today with one of the best averages of the consistent players on the team. He's got 355, that average. This one popped up. Can this make its way into shallow right field? It cannot. It's handled by the second baseman, Bucci. So, 3 up, 3 down go the Red Raiders, and that's going to take us to the top of inning number 5. University School winning this one 7-6. And we're going to step in front of the camera now to give you what's been going on so far. Shaker Heights down by 1, and they started off leading this thing 6-0. Brett Moore was the starting pitcher, and he started off really, really well. Now we're actually seeing him out there in short. Now O'Shea Howard moving now back over to second, so that's an interesting move defensively. Berglund staying over at third. Landrum, I believe, will still be over there at first. We'll see. We're going to get a new pitcher now in the form of Braden White. That's why that move was made. Garnett now will be behind the dish, and we'll see who's over at first. But thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. Shaker was off to a great start, and it collapsed in those last 2 innings. We've still got 3 more to go, however. Let's see what Shaker has still got in him here in the 5th inning. Braden White, now your pitcher. We'll talk about that more as we move the camera back over there. Big rivalry here. University School 13-4 entering into today. Shaker has played 5 more games. Their record is 10-12. And so it would be a major upset if Shaker does get the W here today. However, with how it started, you really don't want it to end this way. Let's see if Braden White can keep US off the scoreboard for now, and if Shaker can pick up that offense moving forward. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Vaughn Ullum, here with the call from Shaker Heights' baseball field. Braden White, number 10 on the back of the jersey. He was the catcher to start us off. It'll be interesting to see if he continues to bat moving forward. Braden White has only pitched a single inning, and that was on March 27th, so it wasn't recent either. Threw up a donut on the board, 0 runs coming across in that final inning of relief, but he didn't give up any hits, didn't give up any runs, but he did walk 2, and he did hit a guy. So the bases were loaded in that moment, but Braden White now against University School looking to keep 0 up on the board. Might not be the prettiest affair, but let's see what he's got in him. First one laid in there for a strike. Again, you're not going to see a lot of speed out of Braden White. This is a rather unexpected move. We heard from assistant coach Joe Welsh that this could be the move. There's strike 2. But it's just not the most ideal situation. But quickly, he's off to a good start. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. This one upstairs, almost got him up high. Bucci, 0 for 0 on the day. The reason being is his first 2 times he walked. Already 5 walks issued, 7 by Moore, 1 by Barrett. This one skied into right center. Who's got it? Cole Klein does. That's out number 1. 4 pitches, retires the first guy here in the top of the 5th inning. So now the defensive alignment, the outfield stays the same in Richard at left, Hagan at center, and Klein over and right. The infield has changed as it's now Andrew Burley over at first, O'Shea Howard at second. That pitch upstairs, missing for ball one, and it's Brett Moore now at shortstop, and Will Berglund remains at third. He's the only guy that's sticking at his position. This next pitch sent over to Brett Moore. Let's see how he handles it. He'll scoop it up on the hop. The throw pulls Burley off the bag. Brett Moore has been leading errors this season, and there's number 15 for him. So, second batter is on as runner number one here in the top of the fifth. Now let's see what we got here. Braden's first pitch in there for a strike. Fielding 1 for 3 on the day. One of only 3 guys that haven't walked so far. This one upstairs, Garnett trying to gun him down. And it looks like he will. The tag applied by Brett Moore. And Nelson is out trying to steal second. So now runners off the bases. There's the second out of the inning. The count 1-1. Here's the pitch from White. And that one just in there for strike 2. Wow, pretty efficient inning from White. We'll see if he continues to go forward in the other 2 final innings. But let's see. It's a tight ball game. You never know. Extra innings could always take place as well. Braden White thought that was strike 3. He was making his motion over to the dugout. Richard raises his hand in disbelief as well. I believe the outfielders thought it was strike 3 as well. But nope, here's the 2-2. This one skied into left field. It's going to get down a base knock. And this one getting through the 5-hole of Richard. Now he's going to make the throw. On to second. Does he have him? He does! Great throw from Richard at first. It went through the 5-hole between the legs, but the runner just too anxious to make his way in a scoring position, so fielding is out, going for 2. The score remains 7-6, University School on top. And let's see what Shaker's offense can now get going. You can see there on the right of your screen that Shaker's offense now meeting up. Let's see what they can do in the bottom of inning number 5. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ulamir with the call. It's been a good one. Let's see if Shaker can now take that lead right back. First pitch to Andrew Burley is in there for a strike. Shaker down by 1. Here's the 0-1 off the mark for ball 1. But yeah, so far, a really great game. 7-6, University School leading that pitch in there for a strike. 1-2 the count to Burley. Burley pinch hitting now for C.J. Landrum. Burley last inning also handled the duties over at first. This one sent over to the shortstop. It's going to be a rough play. The throw. Wow. Moss with a great defensive play over there at short. And we saw this a lot in the infield practices. So this is something that University School plans for. And Moss was really one of the guys that was doing really well at it on the running scoop and throw on the first. So there you go, making it look easy for out number 1. Now here's Braden White, the pitcher now in the game for Shaker Heights, and he took strike 1. Braden White, he's got 6 hits and only an average of 150. He's got 40 at bats. I mean, he's walked 9 times. He's been hit by a pitch once. So his OBP is 320. That one missing the mark for a ball. So his OBP is pretty good. But it's just the matter of hits in that average of 150. This one skied up, and it'll go behind home plate for strike number 2. There, a swing and miss. Garnett goes, or excuse me, White goes down. That was his 16th time going down on strikes. So now Cole Klein up now, trying to avoid being victim number 3 of the inning. There, a swing and miss for strike number 1. Blossom's still the guy out there on the mound. He's given up 6 hits, 2 walks, hasn't hit a guy yet. And actually, no hit by pitch at all. Next offering to Klein in there for strike 2. 0-2 the count. A lot of taken strikes by Shakerites today. Needing to take some healthy hacks and some of these pitches right down the middle. And again, I know the strike zone has been a little difficult to manage, but some of these have been right down the middle. There, now that I say it, Klein swings through strike 3. And so 1, 2, 3 go the Red Raiders. So after 5, 7-6, U.S. still on top. Shaker was once up by 6, but they collapsed in the 3rd and 4th to give up the 1-run lead. Now, Braden White taking the spot back on the mound. Let's see if he can keep it up. Maybe throw up another 0 on the top of inning number 6. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call of the game. First pitch in there from Braden White on a new inning number 6. Shaker's offense with 6 more outs to try and get something clicking on offense and tie this up, maybe take the lead. This one skied our way. Richard gets under it, making the grab with the left glove. Shaker trying to keep vocal. Their offense needing to pick up in the final couple innings. And this loss would hurt. If you went up by 6 runs in the first 2 innings, I'm pretty sure anyone would be. This one lined into right field. Line plays it on the hop. So it'll hold it to a single for Nelson. Nelson now 2 for 3 on the day. And again, White not really a pitcher. So him on the mound here today, you're expecting a couple base knocks like this. However, it's just about how many of these he can limit. This one skied into right, might get down fair, might get down foul. Klein slipped, didn't trip and fall, however, would have been out of his reach regardless. It'll be strike number 1 to Zigman. Trying to get that baseball back to the mound. Eventually we'll get it from Andrew Burley. Behind me, Shaker versus Solon getting set. We had that JV game moments ago. where Shaker beat him by double digits. Now the varsity squad not trying to have that same kind of outcome if you're Solon, looking to have that same kind of outcome if you're Shaker. I mean, just a no brain statement that time. This pitch upstairs, it'll be ball 1 to Zigman. 1-1 the count. Zigman is now 0 for 1, but he's walked twice, along with one other guy in the lineup, Bucci. 8 walks have been issued. 1 by Barrett, 7 by Moore. They're Moore making the pop out just on the outfield grass. So they're out number 2. 1 man on first in the form of Nelson. But there you go. Braden White really controlling this game on the mound. I say this now. Let's see if he can keep it going. Here's the pitch upstairs. Now the 1-0. That will catch the strike zone, number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. University School up by a run. Here in the top of the 6th, Nelson taking the lead off of first. Greer the batter. And now we're going to get time called. At least Braden White going to step off the mound for a moment. Now he's back. Garnett catching the balls and strikes for him now. He was over at second earlier, but as Howard moved over and Brett Moore came into short, that's the only way Braden White could have pitched. There is strike number 2. Maybe got him swinging. If not, he just held back, and it was ruled a strike. Braden White with the pitch. It'll get away, except not get behind Garnett. Nelson's still on first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Wow, just missing. Now we got a payoff pitch upcoming. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count, 2 outs. Here it comes. Wow, just missing the mark. So it was a tough at-bat for Greer, and he's going to earn his spot over at first. It'll move Nelson up to second. Braden White now with 23 pitches. And it's been 14 hitting the strike zone. It looks like the umpire also going to say something to the Shaker dugout. Not exactly sure what it was. Maybe it was a change. I guess we're going to see it if it comes up, and indeed we are going to. Clavio, the batter. That pitch is going to get away. Quentin Garnett picks it up from the backstop, and now 2 runners in scoring position. My goodness, this game has slipped away from Shaker, and it's still within grasp, but the game's been a little bit all over the place. There's ball 1. 2 outs. He's just got to get 1 more. Braden White stands up straight, and now here's the delivery. Upstairs, there was no need for the batter Zelenik to squat down to try and avoid it. Or excuse me, I forgot the batter, Clavio. That one going to catch the strike zone. That's number 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Greer off of second, Nelson off of third. U.S. trying to extend their lead here. Here's the next offering from Braden White. That one upstairs, 3 balls, 1 strike. Come on now, White. Here we go. Started off the last 2 innings so well. Here's the pitch that's low and away. Bases loaded now. 2 outs, 10th position if you're White. He'll step back onto the mound. 7-6 the score. It's White's job to keep it that way here in the top of the inning. Got to let that offense give you run support now. This one skied up. This would be ideal to catch it, but it looks like that's going to make its way out of play for strike number 1. At least it will be strike 1. The batter, Moss, he's 2 for 3 on the day. Actually, the interesting about US, even though they've got 8 hits, all of them have been singles. So don't expect some huge base knock over the fence or something like that. But the hits have been frequent. It's just not about how big the hits are. This one's skied up. We'll see where this one lands. O'Shea Howard falls back into the grass, making the grab. And he's going to get some appreciation. Burley helping up both Klein and Howard. Tegan going to check in on them as well as they both collided for that one. Everyone take a breather. It was bases loaded, but Braden White keeps this one 7-6 with the help of the defense behind him. Shout out O'Shea Howard on that last grab. 7-6 your score. Shaker Heights down by 1. Their offense really needs to get clicking now. We'll tell you about who's due up when we come back for the call of the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch to Fogarty is grounded to the pitcher. The pitcher just going to keep it himself and step on first. Fogarty now 0 for 24 in the campaign. And I know I've continued to say this kind of stat for him, but he's continuing to note it himself as well, that it's just gotten to a point where it's really starting to get to him. It's been really rather aggravating. There, a swing and miss from Richard. It's going to go for strike number 1. One away for Richard, no one on base. Here's the pitch, down low. Shaker coming in now, losers of 4 of the last 5, just barely beating Heights the other day. Next pitch to Richard, skied up. This will make its way our way, but it won't get a lot of oomph on it. And all Moss needed to do was back up on the outfield grass to make the grab. There's out number 2, so quickly 2 up, 2 down. And now we're back to the top of the order in O'Shea Howard. The right-handed hitter, 1 for 3 on the day. He's one of the runs that scored early in the ball game. However, he struck out once as well. 2 outs, first pitch, lay it right in there for strike number 1. Only 2 extra base hits for both sides, actually, coming from Garnett and Tegan. So the only extra base hits have been for Shaker. Shaker with 4 more outs to work with. Here's the next pitch to Howard. This one grounded right to the second baseman. The quick throw on the first, so 3 up, 3 down. Shaker needing the bats to wake up. Let's see who they call to the mound now. It should be Braden again, and it looks like it will be. He had a bit of a shaky last inning, but now he's back, just trying to get those final 3 defensive outs and leave the rest to the offense behind him. And when you have Garnett, Tegan, and Berglund, those 3 guys that are due up next, you got to have some reassurance behind you. But let's just see if White can close this out in the top of the 7th and keep this score where it is. Shaker is down by 1, 7-6, University School leading here in Shaker Heights territory. First pitch of the top of the seventh is upstairs for ball number 1. Braden White back out there. And here's the next offering. Once again upstairs, that's ball 2. We're 15 minutes from this lacrosse game getting started behind us. Men's varsity lacrosse, that is. That next pitch, missing the mark again, that's ball 3. Here's the 3-0. That'll catch it. That's strike 1. University School winning this game 7-6. They're winning hits 8-6. And at first, 3 errors in that first inning. Ever since then, no defensive errors for US. And now that pitch will be strike 2, and we're full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out as we're just getting started. Here's the pitch. That's away. And low for ball 4. You always really hate to see that. When it goes from 3-0 to a full, and then he throws ball 4. That always just stinks a little bit. Now it looks like we're going to get a mound visit from head coach Stephen English. We'll see what happens here. Not exactly sure what other guys are going to throw out onto the mound at this point. I mean, you might have Berglund maybe. And if you do that, you'd throw Braden White back behind the plate and bring Quentin Garnett out in the third. But again, that's just a lot of movement. And for now, they're going to keep White out there. Stephen English jogging back to the dugout. And the infield back to their respective positions. Shaker down by 1, just trying to keep it that way. That time a 7-pitch walk brought the runner Bucci over to first. Nelson 0 for 3, so this is the kind of batter you're going to want to bounce back here with a good pitching AB here. That first pitch, however, was down low. Shaker was once up 6-0. 4 runs in the third and 3 runs in the fourth for US. Made it 7-6. Here's the pitch. This one's skied in the left. Will it get down? Richard making the grab. Good defensive play. There's the throw on a second. It won't exactly be on target, but Bucci had to make his way from second all the way back to first. So that's just going to be out number 1. The runner will stay where he is over at first. That's a good out number 1 if you're Braden White. Good work by Richard to make it happen. Here's first pitch of a new AB. This one sent through shortstop and second. US really wanting more insurance runs. And Brett Moore can't keep a hold on it. Now what do you do here? Do you walk the guy up at the plate? I mean, this is an interesting position you're in. Runners at second and third with 1 away. We'll see what they rule fielding advancing to second as. And it won't be an error. It'll just be a part of the play, I suppose. This one down low. This is a kind of position where Braden White might get a little tense. Again, if you're not a pitcher and you're not exactly used to these situations, you might get a bit more tense more and more. Here's the next offering. That one's in there just barely. Scraping the outside half of the plate. 1-1 the count, 1 away, 2 guys on. They're both in scoring position. Fielding at second, Bucci on third. This is going to be Braden White's 42nd. Here it comes. This one's skied up and foul over to the left side. Just missing a car. Again, parking over on these streets, that's just a dangerous decision. If you're a spectator, even if you're a player, because I know a lot of the players also do this. If you're a coach, not exactly sure why you do that. That pitch off the plate, that's exactly where he wanted it, however, to make it a 2-2 count. Try to get him chasing out something outside. However, he wouldn't bite out of the zone. Here we go. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Here it comes. Let's try that same kind of pitch. Dangerous decision because now we're full. Looked as though that's where Garnett wanted it, though. So now we'll see what goes here. Got a countdown. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. 2 guys on in scoring position. Here's the pitch. This one sent past O'Shea Howard. It's going to score 2. 9-6 now the score. University School on top. And now this one, a 1-run game is very different than a 3-run game. Just feels that much more of a lengthy comeback if you're the Red Raiders. But we'll see what they can do on offense after the inning. This one down low and away. 1-0 the count. Here's the next pitch. It's going to get away from Garnett at first, but now he's going to pick it up out of the dirt. And no advancement from Penn will keep him over at first. Next offering, and here's the steal attempt. Garnett's throw. And he's safe over at first. Or, excuse me, over at second. Penn now moves into scoring position, trying to be that double-digit run for the Preppers. Here's White's 50th pitch, inside for a ball. Or excuse me, I believe that was pitch 49. Never mind. This is going to be his 50th on a 3-1 count. Here it comes, off the plate. And, I mean, you can really just credit the Red Raider performance here today. You can credit it to the unlikely pitchers that have appeared here today. Brett Moore, typically not the guy you're going to see pitching, but if you need him in a 5-man rotation, he will typically be that 5th guy. He'll typically be behind Klein and Fogarty. Those are the 3 and 4 guys. Of course, the 1 and 2 guys, Robinson and Zach. That one ran up, almost got the batter. And so we saw Brett Moore. He did great his first 2 innings, but after the 3rd, in which he gave up 4, and the 4th, which he gave up 3, there, strike number 1 from Braden White. 2-1 the count with 1 away, but 2 guys on. I mean, after those 3 innings and no outs in the 4th with already 3 coming across in that inning, they had called it, and they brought in Thomas Barrett. That pitch upstairs, 3 balls, 1 strike. So Barrett came in, and that's the one guy that is a pitcher on this that we've seen here today. One guy that you would look at on this Shaker roster, and you would say, yes, that's a pitcher for Shaker Heights. That pitch... Oh, ruled a strike? He thought that was ball 4. He was already halfway to first. Can't exactly blame him either. That pitch was low. But now we got a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 away, 2 guys on. Here's the payoff from Braden White. This one's skied up. This should be taken in by Tegan. He's under it, making the grab. And there's out number 2. And then after Thomas Barrett, we found Braden White, who, again, if you see Braden White, he's only pitched a single inning this entire season, and that was out in San Diego. Early March is when we last saw him. So over a month since he's been on the mound. And to be totally honest, he's pitched rather well. That one in there, a strike. For not being a pitcher, he's about to get 3 full innings in with only giving up 2 earned runs. 2 runs in total. That pitch upstairs, missing. On 4 hits, 4 walks. And you know what the rare thing is? Even though these aren't the main guys in a rotation, not in relief or your starters, but no one's been hit by a pitch. Not for either team, as a matter of fact. Here we're going to get conversation between Garnett and White. Excuse me. Blossom stats, 87 pitches, 59 strikes. Here's the 59th from White. It'll miss the mark. Nelson on first. It's Penn over at second. Greer, the batter, swings and fouls this one back into the backstop. It's going to be the U.S. man in the on-deck circle picking this up and taking it back with him to his original spot. 9-6 the score. The Preppers leading here on the road in Shaker territory. Looking for that final strike of the top of the seventh. That won't be it as it's up high on Greer. Braden White already past 60 pitches. That was his 61st. Here's 62. It's going to run up. Just barely missed him for ball four. Had to get out of the way for that one. And this inning stays alive. And again, if you're English, head coach Stephen English, what are you going to do? There's not much to do. You've run out of pitchers on the week. Casey Robinson would be up next. He's not even in the lineup today. This one just scrapes off the glove of Brett Moore. It's going to score two. Tagan's throw will be cut off by Braden White. 11-6 now the score. And this one might have gotten out of reach. But again, you can't exactly blame the defense or really many of the bats. However, the issue with Shaker is that with the bats in the middle of the games, the bats really haven't gone much. They've been doing great at getting off to a good start, like even against Medina here at home. They had a great start. I guess the exception would be yesterday. Again, I know we didn't call that one here, and our apologies. Shaker now down by 5. 2 away with 2 guys on. 1 in scoring position, that pitch up high. Next offering. This one sent over to the right side. That's going to score another. Rounding second is the guy from first. Here's the throw in home, and that's going to go as a double. So now U.S. has them doubled up. 12-6 the score. And again, 6-0. What was the score before? Two away. It's been that way for a long time now. Ever since there's been 2 away, we've got a handful of runs across for University School. Here's the pitch. That one in there. Shaker was up 6-0. Where has that gone? Gotta miss that. The Preppers up 12-6 now here in the top of the 7th. 2 guys on. They're both in scoring position. That pitch getting away. This game behind us here at the Russell H. Rupp starting between the Red Raiders of Shaker and the Comets of Solon. Shaker got the better of them in JV, but let's see what we got in them now. That pitch, oof, just barely missing. Ball 3, 3-1. And that one in there for strike 2. So once again, we're only a strike away from ending the top of the 7th, but we've had this a couple of times now here in the 7th. Here's the pitch. got him swinging up high. But my goodness, the damage is done. 5 runs come across. That's our highest scoring half inning of the ball game. And it might just be out of reach. 6 runs the deficit. And we'll be back for the bottom of the 7th. 12-6 the score. U.S. on top. Due up, Quentin Garnett, Will Tagan, and Will Berglund. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call from Shaker Heights. Due up, Quentin Garnett. If you need as big of a comeback as it is right now, he's the guy to get you started. This one just making its way to the second baseman. The throw? Will it pull him off? It will! He's safe over at first. They might rule this one an error. I believe that should be the case. I guess we're going to see how it's scored. But leadoff man on. You never know. You never know. 6 runs the deficit.
And now let's meet the starters for your Shaker Raiders. Number 2, Captain Miles Shelton. Number 3, Ryan Lenahan. Number 5, Hardy Welsh.
This one skied in. That's going to get down and bounce its way all the way to the wall. Quentin Garnett holding a third. It's going to be a ground rule double either way. Tagan trying to amp up his team. And hey, it's a good start. No one's questioning that. Berglund's up next.
And number 47, Sandy Cheeks Benicasa. Shaker is coached by Will Talbot Shear.
Out here, the center fielder saying it does not matter. You never know. Nobody out. 2 guys in scoring position. One swing of the bat could change this game into a 3-run score. We'll see. 13-6 was the meeting between these schools last year. So it's close. Berglund back in, the right-handed hitter. A big man. He's an O-lineman. I mean, that's what you're going to want to expect. Here's the pitch. This one's skied our way. This one's got a chance. It's out of here. 3-run shot for Will Berglund. He'll round the bases. – 12-9 now the score. And now it's all a 3-run ball game. So you never know. Still nobody out. A comeback just seems that more realistic than how it was a couple moments ago. Now it looks like we're going to get a pitching change out there. We're going to step aside after the mound visit. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum here with the call. Shaker now only down by 3. Let's see what we've got going now. 3 outs, 3 runs. You never know. We'll be right back. All right, here we go. Will Berglund with a 3-run home run in the left center moments ago. Here's the first pitch on a new at-bat. Burley, the batter, 0 for 1 currently. Let's see. This would be a remarkable comeback. Here's the pitch to Burley. This one, oh, it'll be in there. Burley in a tough spot. You got to pick up this team where it just was. You got to get that momentum back. I get it's a new arm. The new arm, Schoaf. And now here's a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And that's going to sting. Braden White, a catcher and pitcher here today, both sides of the pitches. Let's see what he's got here. 0 for 3 on the day, an average of 150 entering into today. Here's the pitch to him, up high for a ball. Braden White has gone yard multiple times this season, 3 of his 6 hits actually had that kind of distance. We'll see. Here's the pitch, and he'll take it. That's strike 2. Here is the 1-2. Ooh, just inside. Outfielders thought that would be out number 2, but not just yet. They still might get it. Let's see. Schoaf with his 2-2 pitch with 1 away. Here it comes. He'll sky this one up, and that's going to be foul over to the right side. We're going to do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Berglund tied this one up with he cut the deficit in half by 3 runs to make it a 12-9 score. Let's see what we got now. Shaker's offense needs to keep that momentum alive. Braden White in the right-handed hitter's box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out after Burley went down. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 3. Here's the payoff. Off the mark, a ball. Ball 4. That's a big ball 4. That's Cole Klein now up. Klein, the right fielder in today's ball game, the only player in Shaker's order to have struck out multiple times. That's 2 to him. The other 3 guys that have gone down on strikes were all before him in the order. Howard at number 1, Burley, and then White, who now stands off of first. This pitch upstairs and away. This has been a longer game. If this one goes much longer, we're talking, if we're rounding up, about 2.5 hours. That's just pretty rare occurrence. Here's the pitch, upstairs again. Two balls, no strikes. Here it comes. That was close. Ruled strike number 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 away. Klein 0 for 3 on the day. He struck out twice. Looking to avoid that same kind of at-bat again. Here's the pitch. That one's in tight. And you'll get that call. 3 balls, 1 strike. Still only 1 out. Braden White taking the lead as we speak. Off of first, but keeping it safe. Not too hefty of a lead. Here's the pitch. That's going to run in. Braden White going to round second, but stay there. And now one swing of the bat could change everything. It's Andrew Fogarty. If you need a hit and you're 0 for 24 right now, here's your chance. Make some noise. Can you imagine? First hit of the campaign, a tying RBI knock right here. That would be incredible. Still 1 out. Fogarty 0 for 2. He walked once. Schoaf with 17 pitches now. Of the 17, 8 have hit the strike zone, so not a good ratio. He's got more balls. 12-9. University School leading. Shaker looking for a big bounce-back win after the loss against Brunswick yesterday. That pitch up high on Fogarty. Schoaf really struggling to send the pitches in the zone. Here's the next offering. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. We're evened up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Up next, it would be Richard. If he gets the opportunity, we'll see. 1 out, 2 guys on. Double play is in order. They've turned 1 already, I do believe. That pitch in tight. Ball 2. As mentioned, Fogarty is 0 for 24, but he's walked now 6 times, so his OBP is not as bad as 0. Here's the next offering. This one cut on. Can this one get down? It looks like it will. First hit of the campaign for Fogarty. It's going to be a double. That's going to score 1. The next 2 guys in scoring position. What a prime opportunity for Fogarty to get his first hit of the season. Oh, my goodness. 12-10 now the score. And now it's Richard. And I got his dad up here with me, up in this elevated spot, so he must be tense right now. 1 swing of the bat and we're tied. Let's see what he's got in him. 12-10. This one cut on, fouled over to the right side. What a ball game. 2 guys in scoring position. Klein on third, Fogarty at second. Richard with a strike to him, 1 away. Here's the pitch, cut on, missed. Uh-oh. 0-2 the count. Up next would be O'Shea Howard at the top of the order. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Here's the 0-2. Did he go? He didn't. Off the plate, it'll go for ball one. Whoo-wee. It's been a long game, and the reason is the score. 22 runs have come across. 12 for U.S., 10 for Shaker. Shaker looking for 23 and 24 of the game. There, a swing and miss. Schoaf with pitch number 25 gets the swinging strike three. And now it is up to O'Shea Howard. Now it looks like we're also going to get a pinch runner out there at second, as we are going to get Nemo Crosby. And it's going to be Fogarty heading off to the dugout. Klein's still over there at third. 12-10 the score. U.S. one out from a victory on the road. Here's Schoaf's pitch. Oh, just hitting the strike zone. That was close, but he'll get it. Can't exactly blame that call. It wasn't a bad call whatsoever. 0-1, the count, 2 away. Two guys on, they're both in scoring position. Here's the next offering. Cut on missed. Oh, my. Shaker down to their final strike. The Preppers up by 2. Schoaf with his 27th pitch. Or 28th. This one, a swing and miss. And Shaker just falls short of what would have been a remarkable comeback. They leave 2 runners on in scoring position, and this one's going to be tough to let go. 12-10, your final. U.S. losing this one. Or excuse me, U.S. winning this one. Shaker losing this one. So we'll step in front of the camera now as we say our goodbyes. What a ball game. I mean, there's nothing much else to say about what quality game this one was. I mean, again, the pitching was really the struggle for Shaker Heights here today. They had pitchers that aren't really pitchers on the mound today. Brett Moore, not really the kind of guy you're going to consistently see as a pitcher. He's only got one other start, now it's against Twinsburg. He had a great appearance there. But after that, here today, against the tougher opponent of University School, who have now gone to 14 and 4 on the season. I mean, it was just rough. Then we see Thomas Barrett. He's the one pitcher. He pitched really well. He's a pitcher only, but he's working his way back from injury. He only pitched an inning. Then we saw Braden White, and he pitched rather well for typically being a catcher or designated hitter. But either way, Shaker losing this one in a great performance. 12-10 was the final. Still, their offense worked tirelessly to try to get it done. They've gotten more hits, more and more. They got more hits yesterday as well against Brunswick, and they've got plenty here today. Let me give you that final stat. The hits today, Shaker got 9. U.S. just out-hit him. They got 11. The errors really still not coming in handy for Shaker. They got 5 of them here today. They got to clean those up. For the sake of errors, the guys that got the errors, Brett Moore with 2 once again. He's got 2 in back-to-back games. That's just something he's got to work on. Shaker had a very good game here today. U.S. just outworked him. Again, these are probably prepper pitchers that they have out on the mound on a usual basis. But for now, we're going to see you next week. I don't believe it's 5 games in 5 days, but we'll let you know on Monday. I believe we got that game on Monday. But Shaker still needing to take on Strongsville in the GCC. This does not affect their GCC record. They are still 5-5. 5 wins, 5 losses. They've played 10 games. Now they've just got to take on Strongsville in those 2 games, and they are done in the GCC. They're looking to finish with a winning record with 2 victories against Strongsville. It'll be tough, but we'll see if they can do it. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Von Ullum here with the call. It was a rough one. It was a well-fought one, but Shaker losing this one by a score of 12-10. Great game to both sides, and we're going to see you on Monday. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Von Ullum here with the call from Shaker Heights, Ohio. We will see you next time.